Boy, I'm going to make some people unhappy today. I have no doubt. Period. I've just had enough with this Florida shooting thing, man. I have reached my breaking point, and I'm going to try not to cuss as much or at all in this one in case, because I'm afraid it's going to get shared some. So, alright, so let me start out of the gate. What sparked this is I heard, listening to Fox News, which I try not to listen to any of it, but I had it on my XM radio. There's a plug for you. And there was a interviewer who said, next we're going to speak to a survivor of the Florida school shooting. And the survivor gets on and says her piece and rants and raves about all her stuff, which I'm like, man, you're a survivor. You got the floor. You know, I respect the shit out of that. Darn it. I respect the stuff out of that. You're a survivor. You should have an opinion. And the interviewer does a really good job of seeing through some BS. Great job looking right through it. And he asks her, were you in school today? And there's this long pause, much like I just gave you. And she said, or no, he said, were you at the school, or where were you at the school? And then she said, I wasn't at school that day. Okay. Now, instantly my red flag or my BS flag goes up, and I'm like, how are you a survivor if you weren't even there? If you're not there, how are you a survivor? Maybe my definition's messed up. So he continues to ask her, how far away were you from the shooting? She says, I was over a mile away at my other school or at my school or whatever. So it might be associated. He was like, did you know any of the victims? Another long pause. Boy, she can't say no on national news, can she? So she says, yes, I knew some of them. This is incredibly tragic. Thoughts and prayers to the victims. And I mean that. And I also hope that some of you liberals that happen to be watching this are turning in your stomach because I said it. So she's a victim, she's a survivor of the school shooting, and she wasn't even there. It's not like she just happened to miss school that day. She doesn't even go to that portion of the school. She goes to school a mile away. It's not the same thing. It's not. It's like going to the casino and hearing somebody lose their mind because they had a jackpot and you were two machines away. You should go up to that person and say, hey, I'm a winner. Like, you're a winner, so I need some of your jackpot money. Sorry. There you go. You're not a survivor, in my opinion. Unless were you in the same room when somebody got shot and was killed? You're a survivor. Did you get hit and live? You're a survivor. I'm even willing to concede that if you were in the same building and never even heard a gunshot, but there was people in your building that got killed, that you're a survivor. Because it could have been you, I get it. Not when you're a mile away. No. And then, so that's what sparked the video. And now, this portion is because I am sick and tired of the sheriff down there, Israel, saying his stuff because he is an admin chaired bitch right now. Called it. And here's why. At first when I saw him, I was like, man, he's talking about this officer that didn't go inside, right? Whatever his name is. By the way, you outed him, you're a punk. And here's why. Listen to me first. Think about it. Everybody out there is saying that was his job and he should have gone in. And you're absolutely right. When I first heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, he what? And then I was talking to it with a mentor of mine, somebody who I hold very dear, and I know for a fact that he despises cowardice more than anybody. And in this moment, he shared with me some stuff that I don't think any of us are thinking about even a little bit. should he have gone in? Absolutely, bar none. Should have gone in. But here's the thing. When this officer shows up, or he's inside or whatever, so he's inside, he hears the gunshots, he goes outside to get his rifle, because my guess is the school didn't let him have his rifle in there, and then he takes up position. That's what he was trained to do at the very beginning. At the very beginning. Probably went to go get a rifle, because they probably taught this guy to use rifles in school shootings for the AR-15 and blah, blah, blah. Don't know for sure, but I heard somebody say from their department that that was initially what he was trained to do. Then he took a position, and then he hears the gunshots. Now here's something I never thought about that my mentor shared with me. That guy probably, in that moment, knew that if he went in, he was going to die. Probably was going to die. Who knows if it was this guy's daughter's birthday, or grandkid's birthday, or something else, where all of a sudden he's got all these plans for after school in his personal life, and now all of a sudden he's looking at it and says, is it my kid or their kid? I'm not saying it's right, folks, but for 1 second, you've got to ask yourself in that moment what you probably have not been in. I'll accept the comments from the people who have actually done some shit, like the Heston chief of police, who's a father, a Christian man, Doug Schroeder in Heston, Kansas, that guy who went in. He can give an opinion. But unless you've been there, I think, what would I do? I think I would have gone in. I hope I would have, but you know what? I wasn't there in that moment on my daughter's birthday. I'm not saying his daughter was having a birthday. All I'm saying is who knows what was going on in that moment when he looked and said, I'm going to die if I go in there. Are you guys telling me that at some point, even if it was just thinking about his family, his grandkids or his daughter or his wife or whatever else, you're going to tell me that in some moments you would not sacrifice someone else's kid for your own kid? Man, that was a hard punch in my face. I had to sit there and look at it, and I still hope. I hope. But I don't know. I know what I do in training. I know what I do in my mind. But I wasn't there. I didn't do it. And so now all of a sudden this guy is going to have a hard life, man. Okay? There is nothing that you could say that is going to be more harsh than what he feels based off of what happened. Can't be. But at the same token, should we always judge people on their worst moment of their life? Take a second and think about your worst moment of your life, and that's how you are finally judged. Do I think he should have gone in? You're damn right I think he should have. But at the same time, man, I was not that guy. I was not in that moment. That was a punch in the face from my mentor. It really was. We both agree that he should have gone in. But man, a little bit of perspective, folks, goes a long way. Be safe.